All right, hey guys, Garden here today, bringing Granny Vale. Today is going to be the day I'm going to fuck what I even say, dude. Today I'm going to show you guys the new top five decks of the September 2018 balance. I waited until YCS London finished so I could show it because I didn't want it to be like show the first show the top five decks after the first YCS because like in that case it'll be like putting Sky Striker like top one, shit like that, or like how last format was like people put Trick Stars at number one, like Sky Strikers number two, and then we found out that Goki was so much better. So yeah, I just waited until like the first impressions were done, and yeah, here we go. So we're gonna actually have an honorable mention, which is, and you'll see what the honorable mention deck is. It is Altergeist. So Altergeist, very consistent deck. I actually had under True Dracos and potentially Burning Abyss, but now I think it's better than both those decks because of the release of Thunder Dragons and how those decks really lose bad Thunder Dragon. Altergeist still manage to fit inside the meta and combat all the other decks pretty well as long as they go first usually, and they do really well against Thunder Dragon because of this like right here. And Multifaker is just a really good card because you can summon Slick or like whatever he wants really, and personal spoofing really triggers him very well. This is like a really strong normal summon card. Melseek is really good outing a bunch of threats and grabbing his own resources, and this is a really good defensive card. It's also the fact that you can search off these two Altergeist cards a lot, which protocol is really strong. The floodgates that it runs that prevents their opponents from playing, and Waking Dragon, in my opinion, is also really strong against like decks that also grind to like get rid of your back row. Then you could just summon this and win. Same thing applies if you're up against like dangers where they try to twin twist and everything, and then yeah, this pops up. So that's my number six honorable mention deck. For number five, we have Trickstars. So Trickstars, a lot of people are sleeping on this deck in my opinion, and shout out to the guy who got second at YCS London with Trickstars. I personally think this is a really strong deck still. Not as good as it used to be, but you know, the fact that you could run such a small engine, keep so many hand traps is very key. As well as the fact that Scapegoat is still a really strong card. Eater Millions and Cyber Dragons is really good outing threats where you make Chimera Technical Fleet, of course. The Trickstar Reincarnation with Joel combo, really strong. Inspector Border is really good stun card. As well as the fact they can run Ghost and Match, which is actually a really good floodgate because it beats pretty much every deck in the format right now, in all honesty. So yeah, really strong deck. Really strong stun deck right now. As we'll hop into number four. It's going to be Thunder Dragon. So nothing much to say really. They have a relatively easy engine to use. You just summon. Oh fuck! You just summon the Thunder Dragons, and they're very hard to get rid of. Very strong boss monsters. Really hard to out if you're playing a deck like Sky Strikers, for example, as well as the fact that they can run Ghost and Match as well, and Denkoseka, which is a card that beats every other deck that like tries to set background and everything. So really basic deck, you know, summon a boss monster, doesn't allow their opponents from playing, really easy. Speaking from not allowing your opponents from playing, our number three deck will be Sky Strikers, which is a grind deck that you guys know doesn't let their opponents play. Ray is very strong, actually. No really strong defensive card, as well as the fact that it helps you play around hand traps, usually like Ghost Ogre and stuff. When they hand trap your Sky Striker monsters, Engage is off the charts, a really strong card, as well as the fact that Will Anchor is a monster gate, and Volterra just keeps recycling it and other resources. As all of these Sky Striker monsters are really strong. Kagari is like the best one by far. It gets you your resources back whenever you try to send them to the grave, like Foolish Burial of Goods or with Hayate. And Shizuku just adds more from your deck. So coming in at number two, we have Danger Goki. Now, not regular Goki. I personally think that Gokis are worse than Sky Strikers, but Danger Goki is better because it's honestly just a much better turboing deck. in my opinion. And you can run like these are like one card combos with like Rhoda, Called by the Graves in this deck is still really strong. I should probably put Magic Midbreaker Field here as well, but you know, as you could also send these to the Grave and fetch the Brigandine. Malicious really, nothing much to say. You can still run a very small Goki engine, just these 4 cards really. It's like yeah, he sold some sorcerers, Firewall really key, and Gumblar very very strong like monster. As we're gonna hop into number 1. So number 1 best deck in the format is Danger Dark World FTK. Now I don't really have to say much about this that you guys don't know already. Probably just turbo a bunch of danger cards and you just link away, loop Firewall, get your resources into the grave, grab them back with Firewall, summon them, and you just FTK them. Now, the funny thing about this deck is that it's super consistent. There's many ways to get the OTK out, as well as the fact that, fuck, I should probably add Galaxy Tomahawk here too. As well as the fact that, you even have their 1-card combos like Greffer and Armageddon Knife, the Rhoda. You have so many monsters like this other entity cards right here to make sure you can use hand traps. They can hand loop. And all 3 of these cards really strong with the combo. As well, Galaxy Tomahawk, hand soldiers. Of course, your FTK. You know, you recycle these resources, and they can like extra link. They can just OTK straight up. They can do the FTK, which is the traditional thing that you'll be doing mostly with this deck. And overall, it's just a really, really strong offensive deck, really consistent. And I mean, it's the best deck in the format, in my opinion, by far. You know, even in YCS London, where like they didn't have summon sorcerers, so people tried to shy away from the deck. It only had like 50 players using Danger Dark Worlds, but 9 of those 50 players ended up topping. I think that's something to say, right? Like 278 Sky Striker players were at the event. Only 8 of them topped. You know, Pendulum players, even Pendulum Magicians, they even had more players than Danger Dark World. They had 52 compared to Danger Dark World's 50, and none of those 52 topped even. Like, what do I have to say, man? You can play around goes and match as well because like you just have a lot of darks, and overall you can just beat them down with it for all I know. But yeah, I mean, that's it for the deck, really. So I hope you guys enjoyed my list of the top 5 decks of the September 2018 ban list. As it's going to sing out. Peace.